Starfield, one of the most anticipated games of this console generation, a game that took over 7 years of constant development, and the first new Bethesda franchise in over 20 years. This game has enormous expectations from the gaming world, the players wanting something big, and boy did they get something big. With some previous difficulties with some of the releases of games that Bethesda have put out in the last couple of years, the main one being Fallout 76, it just was made with the goal of making a quick buck. People ultimately lost a bit of love for what made Bethesda games so special from back in the day, and it left a sour taste in many of people's mouths. But boy does Starfield do such a fantastic job of bringing all of that rushing back through your veins. Today we're going to be explaining the storyline of Starfield. I've not put this game down since it released on September the 1st in early access. For these videos I target just the storylines to get them out as quickly as possible to help everyone that maybe can't get the game because they're on a different console, with this being an Xbox exclusive, or other people just can't afford it right now and want to get it at a later date but still want to understand what the story of the game is like and to live that with the people that are playing it. These are what those videos are for, and they're for those people in particular. Once this video's out, I'm 100% jumping back into the game and putting more and more hours into the side quests and trying to 100% the game and even try and platinum the achievements on that game as well. But let me know how many hours you guys have put into Starfield so far, with it only being the 3rd day of the game releasing, and ultimately if you're enjoying it or not. This game probably took me 30 hours alone just to play through and get through the story. That's not including the writing of the script, the day or two to edit it as well due to it being such a long video, and the amount of time done staring at a screen can really irritate your eyes, and that blue light just isn't good for you in general. Throughout this entire process of this video I've been wearing glasses that were sent out to me by GMG Performance, and they've massively helped and improved my overall productivity and reduced my overall eye strain more than in previous projects where I didn't use them. Look, the modern world is constantly using screens on a daily basis, from video games and playing them through like we are today, internet usage being one of my main ones of course, but work life in general at work or if you work from home, and even watching your favourite TV shows on Netflix or other streaming services with your friends or partner. All of these devices are producing blue light, which can seriously damage your eyes, especially gamers like us, over a long period of time. When your eyes are overexposed with blue light, it can sometimes cause eye strain, itchy eyes, headaches, and it can even result in trouble falling asleep after long gaming sessions or binge watching a TV series straight before bed. However, with GMG Performance's blue light blocking glasses, these glasses act as a shield against blue light, and it's helped so much when gaming. It can help reduce things such as eye strain, it can improve your concentration, encourage your eye reflexes, maintain the quality of your vision over a longer term, preserve the quality of your sleep, which for me is my most important one. Before I worked with GMG, I actually brought myself a really cheap pair of these glasses because I was really feeling it, and as you can tell, the quality of these ones aren't very good. So I'm so grateful for GMG Performance sending me out a couple of pairs of their glasses to try out. Right now I'm wearing the Aranos. They are my favourite ones so far, and also I got another pair called the Optimizers as well. These are really cool as well, and the quality is just amazing on them. There are 2 other pairs of the website called Performers and Osiris. You guys can go check them out. I'll leave all the links in the description down below to the GMG Performance website, where if you use the link in the description, you can save upwards of 25% off your next order, which is a sale that's going to last upwards of 48 hours of this video going live. So go check it out in the description down below. Go get yourself a pair of these glasses. They're going to help so much more than you think. Go check it out. Pin comment also down below. Thank you. Let's try and hit 1,000 likes on today's video. This is a huge game, and I know for a fact we can easily smash 1,000 likes. If we hit the goal, I'm going to give away 3 copies of Starfield to someone randomly in the comments down below, the special editions of the game as well, just to give that bit of extra spice. Stick around to the end of the video to find out more on how to do that. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel as well and ring that notification bell to be notified every time a video does go live, especially for those brand new releases coming out at the end of this year. You do not want to miss what a jam-packed end of the year we've got with all of these new incredible releases. But without further ado everyone, let's explain the storyline of Starfield. From what I've seen, this game is like incredibly well optimized for how big it is. The story of Starfield begins looking at the perspective of two people, Supervisor Lynn and someone named Hella. We're joining them as a part of the Argos Extractor as a new recruit, and this is our first time on a mining expedition. However, this job is special, as we've been sent down here searching for something for a client, something very, very important. However, along the way, Supervisor Lynn's team were mining minerals also, to hopefully sell on for a nice little profit at the end as well. As we progress further on into the cave, Hella breaks through into another portion of the cave, and the atmosphere was showing signs and spikes in gravity. This was not what any of the team were expecting, but Lynn, being as stubborn as she was, didn't really care. This thing thereafter would read as an anomaly on their readings. There's no name for it. It might not even be in the object database. So we push forward on to this unidentified object, and there, a faint hum. Music playing in the background as we get closer to the artifact, and an object encased in something. We clear it, and finally go to grab it, but when suddenly...
Come on. Okay, take it easy. You were out cold. No physical damage. Mentally, the jury's still out.
We woke a short time later, both Hella and Lynn standing over us. We must have passed out after touching the object. We come back to our senses and meet the contact, who requested the retrieval of the object. His name? Barrett. We explained to Barrett what happened, that we passed out after touching the object, went on a bit of a trip. Hella asked us about touching the artifact and what we saw. Barrett wanted us to accompany him to visit an organisation he's a part of called the Constellation. We are a part of this bigger picture now, so we make our way there. Barrett cuts a deal with Lynn. He stays here and we fly to a place called New Atlantis and visit the Constellation, taking the artifact with us. Once we touched that artifact, something changed in the air, the atmosphere. I could feel it. You could feel it. Why that is, we don't really know. And why no one else can feel it when they touch it, again, we don't understand why we got a different experience compared to everybody else. But on our way to the Constellation we go. We walked into a place called the Lodge within New Atlantis, where all members of the Constellation are based. Here we meet Sarah Morgan for the first time and explain to her what happened, seeing two of the pieces of the artifact on a table directly in front of us. We placed the third piece, the one that we obtained, on this table as well, and something started to happen. The artifacts began to react, emitting a gravitational field that can't be manufactured or replicated by one person on planet Earth. However, Sarah pulls us to one side and states that she wants to accompany us on a trip. She has a lead on another artifact's location, so we travel to a place called Sidonia, which is located on Mars. Sarah has a lead that someone here named Moara was blabbering on about an object they had in their possession. We finally get a lead on the potential location of Moara. As we follow the lead, we eventually find a ship floating in space. This ship was hijacked by a faction named the Spacer Crew, so we target the engines and we board the ship. We take out the remaining Spacer Crew on board and grab the artifact, taking it back to us with the Lodge and adding the piece to our growing collection. Sarah recruits us to the Constellation when we get back. She's impressed with our work and feels like we've made good progress together. However, Sarah becomes increasingly concerned about Barrett. They've heard nothing from him since they got here. Something doesn't seem quite right. However, before we make a trip back to Vectera, we have a couple of other things we need to take care of. Sarah wanted us to meet another member of the Constellation aboard a space station named the Eye. This was Vladimir. The Eye is rigged up to a deep space scanner. This allows Vladimir to be able to scan space for these artifacts going off their abnormal gravitational field, And he even has a lead as to where another one of these artifacts could potentially be situated. Two members of the Constellation are already out following up on leads, Andreja and Matteo. Andreja, however, has been gone quite a long time, so we follow up on the same lead that she was looking into, and try to look out for her in the process. As we arrive into the cave where the artifact is said to be situated, there was Andreja shooting a dead body. She would not survive a toxic Call of Duty lobby, I can tell you that for a fact. We obtain the artifact at the bottom of the cave and move straight onto our second lead, obtain that artifact and return back to the lodge. However, Vladimir radios to us when we're at the lodge, stating that he's picked up some strange readings on those artifacts. The grav anomaly generated by one of the artifacts, it matches a bigger gravitational anomaly on another planet. When we move to investigate what this might be, we see a series of different structures dotted around these planets, all floating, before finally coming face to face with what looked like a temple of some sort. As we enter the doorway of the temple, all gravity in the room was just gone, allowing us to move freely throughout. In the centre though, a circular object began spinning with orbs of white light appearing in different corners of the room. We move towards each of them, with them bringing a musical hum every time we come into contact with them, before finally the rings are completely powered up. So, of course, we do what everyone would do, right? We walk straight into it. We were transported outside the temple. However, something seemed to have changed. As we left the temple, we left with a gravitational power given to us by the temple as we walked into these rings. We returned to the lodge and explained to everyone there what happened, and Noel starts to perform some scans on us. Our vitals are completely out of whack, so we give a demonstration to the members of the Constellation as to what we've just uncovered. Everyone was in disbelief, but yeah, that happened. It turns out that these temples are scattered across the galaxy, allowing us to travel around, find and possess these different gravitational powers. We travel to 3 different temples after this, tracking the gravitational anomalies and obtaining these powers, ready to wield on our journeys to find more of these artifacts. However, we'd been on enough adventures across the galaxy for now. We had another task on our agenda. The Constellation are based in New Atlantis. This is owned and run by the United Colonies. However, there's another faction out there called Freestar Collective, and the Coe family are a very big name when it comes to their reputation, mostly known Solomon Coe, the first man to step foot on planet Aquila, and founded, of course, Aquila City. Sam Coe, a member of the Freestar Collective, is also a member of the Constellation, and he's waiting in the lodge for us with his daughter, Cora. Sam tells us about an expedition that he and Sarah were planning. We need to head to Aquila, as there's a lead us to a place that could point towards one thing, an artifact. When we get there, Sam explains to us that his father has a set of maps, which could lead us to a cave, rumoured to be where an artifact is situated. However, Sam and his father are not on great terms at the moment, so getting these maps would not be a walk in the park, and he wouldn't just willingly hand them over. We'd need to be smart about this one. His father, Jacob Coe, was mad with Sam over something that went down in his past, and the fact that he's stopped him from seeing his granddaughter, Cora. Sam disappeared a while ago. He doesn't come back a lot to Aquila City. He's a part of the Constellation, and it's just not what his father wanted, really. His father just never forgave him for that. We and Sam devise a plan, though, to distract Jacob whilst we slip into his study and steal this map, the one that was passed down from generations and generations, even all the way from Solomon. We finally get it. Sam and Jacob say their goodbyes, and we exit the house and make our way to the location on the map, where we find the artifact and return it to the lodge to place the artifact with the rest of our collection. Now it's time to finally find out why Barrett hasn't radioed back to us. He's been gone a long time now, so we make our way back to Victera and Supervisor Lynn's mining operation to find out more. However, when we get there, she didn't seem very impressed to see us.
Don't you Lynn me. I thought things had already gone sideways, but no, that was just the beginning.
More pirates showed up when we left, killed 3 of her crew. When she was pinned down, Barrett ran over to protect Lynn, stating that he would save her, killing 2 pirates, then threatening to kill the 3rd. But as he was doing so, the pirates, well, they captured and brought out Hella, who they had captured as collateral, who, if you remember, was a member of the mining team at the beginning of the game. Barrett then surrendered, and both him and Hella were taken aboard a pirate ship and taken hostage. And that was the last time Lynn saw them. No clue as to where they grav jumped to or anything like that. We move into a nearby communications hub to see if they can find any transmissions left by Hella or Barrett. And here we find a transcript from Barrett. Altair 2 was the planet where we were directed to. When we got there, the Spacer crew were already there ahead of us, attacking a research facility. There was no sign of Hella or Barrett. However, throughout we did save a bunch of different people, some being from the Freestar Collective and others being from the United Colonies. Surprisingly, both got along quite well in the end, considering the uproar both of their factions have been through. It was during this time that we got word that the ship they were both captured on crash-landed on a planet named Altair 4. We make our way there and find the crash ship situated in the middle of nowhere, with Hella laying injured beneath it. We help him get to his feet and get him off that planet and to safety. However, we still needed to find Barrett. There was a second transmission found along the journey as well, and this one mentions the location of the Spacer crew's main base on Bessel 3. So we infiltrate the base, rescue Barrett, and take him back to the lodge to see the different artifacts we'd found. When we walked through, you could tell Barrett was similar to us, not like the rest of Constellation. He could also see visions, the music when getting close. He could feel what we were feeling. But we still have many artifacts to find, and many more things to learn. So we turn our attention to Walter Stroud. He explains to us that he's impressed by our actions. He thought we'd come in and bugger off with the artifacts essentially. However, he has the location of another artifact, but it's not in a cave this time. This is in possession of someone in a city called Neon, and we need to buy it off the person. This artifact is most certainly stolen, so we need to be extra vigilant when dealing with this person. So we set off on our journey to the city of Neon. The city is so cyberpunky, bright lights, dim atmosphere, what a place. Massive props to the developers, it's absolutely gorgeous. But Walter Stroud was very high up in this place, owning the company Eklund Stroud with his wife, Issa Eklund. We need to set up a meeting with this seller, and there's a place called the Astro Lounge here in Neon that would be the perfect place for exactly that. But beforehand, we need to investigate the seller, understand why he's doing this, and potentially where he got this artifact from, and what potential issues could be waiting after the transaction's completed. We infiltrate the seller's living quarters, and find the seller himself is called Musgrove, and someone was secretly messaging him about wanting a chat about something. Potentially someone stating just how much this artifact was worth if sold, which is why it was stolen and this meeting was set up. We move to the lounge and ensure we're covered from all angles, tapping into security, even purchasing a VIP package to allow security to take favour to us if we get into a sticky situation. We track down the seller and take him upstairs to one of these VIP lounges and have a bit of a chat. The seller wanted double what we initially agreed, which of course did not go down well. We signalled to shut the door behind us, and even threatened to have security teach him a bit of a lesson if he didn't agree on the original terms. Musgrove finally did, and we had the artifact in our possession. However, just as we stepped outside the lounge, an agent of a powerful man named Slayton was there ready to greet us. The artifact belonged to Slayton, and he wanted returning to him immediately. The seller was an ex-employee of him, and he stole it directly from him. We don't abide by this, and it ends in a bit of a gunfight where we kill this agent. We prevail, of course, and make our way back downstairs, And it was there that Issa tells us that Slayton's impounded our ship, meaning we've got no way to get out of Neon. We need to speak with Slayton himself, and it turns out he has an office in this very tower. We make our way upstairs and enter the lift, and he knew we were coming. Issa, however, hacked into the communications hub and directed us through the ventilation systems and back passages to get us into Slayton's office undetected. We finally get there, and we negotiate with Slayton to get our ship back. By Walter Stroud adding Slayton's aerospace company to their supply chain, increasing his overall profits, and it's a win-win. Nicholas Slayton was more than happy with this exchange, and to cement the new partnership, he wanted us to decide on the punishment of Musgrove. We let him off with a stern word this time, but we could have literally killed him or imprisoned him with the authorities. It was our choice completely. As he did look in pretty bad shape, so I kind of felt a bit bad for him. Slayton, of course, kept his word. Our ship was returned to us. We made our way back to the lodge. We take off into the atmosphere, ready to grab jump back to Atlantis City. But then, something grab jumps to our very location, on a ship that doesn't look like it was created by humanity, and this was named Helix. It asked us to hand over the artifact and turn away from this path that we're on. We ask the ship to identify itself for us, and it responds this.
The fact that you do not know says much.
They are the Starborn, and we are unworthy to possess these artifacts. We ask what the artifacts are, who made them, and what their purpose is, and they again refuse to answer. They speak our language though, and know everything about us there is to know. They say that humanity can't have this artifact. We are not worthy. The more we understand, the more damage we'll do. Stroud, however, mentions he doesn't like what he's seeing on the ship's scans. The ship, the minerals it's made of, are far from anything humanity is capable of right now. This was very worrying. We, however, have the courageous idea to fight the unknown ship, with everyone else on board not really feeling the same way. But it was too late. The Starborn ship lost patience, and it was time for battle. We actually managed to best the ship in combat, and before we could completely destroy it, it grab jumped out of there. But this begs the question, who are the Starborn? Are they human? Are they not? What made them come here? And why did they want the artifact? So many questions, so few answers. So we make our way back to the lodge, speak to the rest of the constellation, and what the hell we'd just seen, and analyse the data that our ship captured on the Starborn ship. We speak with Noelle and tell her about what had just happened. We ask her to look at the data for the sensors on our ship, so we walk over to a table, and there it is. She couldn't believe what she was seeing, thinking at first that it was a prototype of some sort, but humanity doesn't have the capability of even creating this as a prototype. This is something non-human, or extremely advanced. Barrett thinks this could be alien life forms, that they were the original creators of these artifacts, with Mateo even reciting the metaphor, avenging angels coming down to keep humanity from forbidden knowledge. Many theories, nothing concrete, other than they're after the artifact, and they're not afraid to resort to combat to get it. Noelle will scan their entire ship, gravitational pull, shields, weapons, and more. However, until then, we need to continue on, collect these artifacts and maybe even encounter them in the future. But we must get the artifacts before they do. So, let's do this, and good luck everyone. So we travel across the galaxy to find more of the artifacts, and as we reach the caves, something extremely unexpected crops up. There are now Starborn in these caves waiting for us by these artifacts, hunting them themselves. We managed to finally take one of them out that was camping us essentially, before they disappear into oblivion, and grabbed the artifact, and we left back to the lodge. This was a regular encounter from now on, as when we reached the next cave, another Starborn was there waiting for us too. They knew our every move. They were one step ahead of us this entire time. They want what we want, the artifacts. Whilst in the lodge though, Vladimir tells us of some issues with his encounter with the Eye, advising that it's in need of some serious repairs. He's going to need more than just a couple of hands to repair it as well. We offer our assistance of course, along with the majority of the Constellation team. We make our way up there and help him with the repairs that's needed. Sam, Coe and Cora agree to stay aboard the Eye with Vladimir until the ship's back to normal. A few others return back to the lodge, and, of course, we continue on, looking for the artifacts. However, before we leave, Vladimir tells us that he's got word on another location of another artifact. However, this time it wasn't in a cave, but in a pretty difficult spot. It was actually aboard a salvaged vessel called the Scow. This was owned by a head scavenger named Captain Petrov, and the ship is full of prized possessions. One of those possessions was the artifact. Petrov said that this is not for sale for anyone. However, we don't have a choice and we need to obtain it and add it to our collection. So we reach the Scow, we persuade the person on the transmission to let us dock and speak with Petrov. When we board, we reach and speak with Petrov, and finally persuade him to show us the artifact. And we grab it, just as we got the chance. Petrov ultimately didn't want to die and get bested by 2 people, so we just accepted the fact that we were going to take it. We were free to leave with the artifacts, just walking straight through the ship and back to the frontier. We make our way back to the lodge and add the artifact to the collection. However, there seems to be something going on just as we return. The Eye. It's gone completely dark.
Noel, Starborn, came out of nowhere.
Vladimir, get out of there!
He already left. Said he was going to the lodge.
Starborn attacked the Eye and are now on their way to the lodge to steal the artifacts. Here we speak with a Starborn named the Hunter, and he mentions something called Unity. Not knowing what this is right now, we only focus on what matters to us right now, the artifacts. We need to get them out of here and out of the lodge now, remove them from the lodge and hide them from the Starborn. Everyone is on high alert, protecting the artifacts with their lives, waiting for a breach from the Starborn. We stay here to help, but then, Walter, he's in distress upstairs. We walk upstairs to find out what's going on, and there, Walter's been strangled by the Hunter. He's here. Noel and the team pack up the artifacts whilst we fight against the Hunter and allow them to escape. Everyone sprints into the basement of the lodge, and we follow closely behind through the back passages of New Atlantis. They're not only infiltrating the lodge, but the whole of New Atlantis. They're causing chaos, killing anyone and anything in their way. We get to our ship and get the hell out of there as quickly as possible. When we get into space, another ship, this one named Scorpius. Scorpius was impressed with our combat skills, as he's never actually been bested in combat before. However, he's not here to fight now. He's going to sit back, take the long road, and watch us on, as we potentially do all the work for him. Scorpius disappears, and we now need to make our way to the Eye ASAP. We rush into the Eye, and Sam.
Sam.
Dad,
Sam, can you hear me?
come on.
It's
You
Sarah.
have to keep your eyes open.
There's nothing you can do now. He's not going to make it. Sam. Cora will be fine, okay, Sam? We won't let anything happen to her.
Dad! Dad, get up! Get up! Please? Go away! I told him you were coming. He just had to hold on a little longer. I hate you! Leave me alone!
Sam Coe died on the Eye, his daughter standing over his body. We check on the rest of the crew and thankfully they all survived. The Hunter probably found us because of how much of an obvious location we were in. We make the decision to keep the artifact on our ship. That way we can get away using the grav jump anytime, any place if needed. We build an armillary on the ship, which is what's used for containing the artifacts, and make our way to the lodge. New Atlantis was completely ruined. Many injured, sirens sounding. The Starborn well and truly caused havoc here. When we return to the lodge, however, Mateo says something really worth thinking about. In that transmission, the hunter used the term unity. Now, right now we don't know what that means, but Mateo has heard that term before, in speeches from someone named Keeper Aquilus. He's a priest of New Atlantis and always believes answers are out there in the stars. It's a long shot, of course, but it might be our best lead right now. We find Keeper Aquilus and ask him about unity, and here you can just tell that he knows something, asking us to come inside and have a private chat. When we sit, we explain the situation to him. We ask him what unity means, and his response was really interesting. There's an old story of someone who walked the settled systems and saw every corner of it. This pilgrim said that he found the true meaning of unity. In the story, the pilgrim met the founders of the House of Enlightenment and the cult of Varum. He gave each of these two factions part of the truth. Then, he just left and went to his final resting place to live out the rest of his days in contemplation of infinitum addendum. But the priest mentioned that this story might not just be a metaphor, but some form of code, one to help find the pilgrim again, or at least his resting point. The story pointed towards a star system, planet and set of coordinates. Indum 2 was the planet, so we travelled there to Pilgrim's Rest. When we reached Pilgrim's Rest, it was very clear someone was on the same journey as us. This pilgrim has done a lot of research and been here for a very long time. They'd written a series of journal entries to themselves explaining the process of finding unity and what that journey looked like. We accessed the pilgrim's computers and had to answer a series of questions from the journal entries. At last, we got through, and there was a final word. You came here seeking the true meaning of unity. If you still wish to find it, there is one final piece of myself in the next room. I found my own answer a long time ago, but not in the way I was expecting. I hope your journey gives you truth. The pilgrim's journey came to an end here, but he didn't leave us with nothing. On Hyla 2, the island hides the scorpion, and the scorpion's sting hides the truth. We'll travel here straight away, and use an interface at the end of the catwalk to highlight the path to our final destination. This shows that the destination is the last star in the Scorpius constellation. As we're travelling to the end of the star system, there was another starborn ship waiting for us. It was the Hunter. We tell him that Keeper Aquilus sent us on the path to find out what unity really was, and the Hunter seems to know exactly who he is, which was odd. The Hunter then mentions to us that there's another starboard on the ship that also wants to meet us. Their name, the Emissary. So we agree to dock on the ship. And inside is like something we've never seen before. Shiny surfaces all over. Almost nothing inside other than the moulded surfaces. And a single seat in the centre. With two starborn just standing there. The Emissary was on the Helix, the ship that ambushed us initially. The one that we bested in combat. However, we exclaim that we just want information. We don't want to fight. No more deaths. Here, the Emissary mentions that the Starborn are individuals. Some are united in cause, like him and the Hunter. Others are in it just for themselves. The Unity. We are on the path to it. Unity is a place. Unity is a gateway where both of these Starborns and all of the others were born. And oh my god, I did not prepare myself for this moment you're about to witness. Sam Coe is the Emissary Starborn. But how? He died back on the Eye. However, this wasn't the Sam that we knew. This was a completely different Sam. This universe, the one that we're a part of, is one of hundreds this version of Sam has seen. Where Sam came from? He was the one that stayed at the lodge to protect the artifacts, rather than us staying behind to do that. We, our characters, us, died aboard the Eye whilst we held off the Hunter. Sam then collected the rest of the artifacts and, as he did, opened a gateway to the centre of the universe, a doorway to an infinite number of other universes. Unity. That right there is Unity. When he stepped into it, he became Starborn. It's how he entered other worlds, including ours. the temples, the artifacts, all apart and connected to Unity. All of the artifacts are needed to complete the armillary, and subsequently open the doorway into Unity. In every universe, the Starborn fight over them. Innocent people die all the time, which is why they simply just don't care. It's a part of the process. And then, another huge twist. The Hunter is Keeper Aquilus, but not the one we spoke to earlier in the game, one from another universe. He's seen thousands of universes, collected the artifacts thousands of times, and been to their temples. We've got a small glimpse of their power, but we've not even scratched the surface as to what they're capable of. We've never come this far before. In any universe that either of the Starborn have been to, we are doing so well. The path to Unity is opening for us. However, they both want us to choose a side. They want us to collect the artifacts and have one of them be able to be there to help us. But I don't believe this for a second, by the way. Both of them are so sketchy to me. They both try to attack us, and they're not listening to us. So I call their bluff and walk away, not siding with anyone. However, before we leave, Samco, or the emissary, lets us know about a location of another artifact. One on the moon of the old Earth. There are apparently some secrets there that we must discover for ourselves. So with that in mind, we take a bit of a breather and go back to the lodge to inform the rest of the constellation of what we've found and what's just happened. And we got a bit of a mixed reaction. No one could believe it, that Sam was alive, but another version of him. The multiverse is real. Unity creates the Starborn species, and they can travel to different universes accessing the multiverse. The Starborn are literally us. The emissary mentioned secrets on the moon of the old Earth that we need to uncover. We make our way there and listen to a transmission. When we got there, we listened to an audio transmission. This was an audio transmission of the first gravity jump that was basically sent a rocket to orbit around Jupiter. This was done by NASA back in the day. So we need to go to a place that this was recorded and figure out what's going on and potentially find an artifact there. Earth. When we get there, it just doesn't look anything like what we'd expect. It's completely deserted. There we find old rockets, the same ones used when Earth was evacuated. Why it was evacuated we don't know just yet, but it will make sense shortly. We make our way inside and hear a series of audio logs. A man named Victor Iser, he commandeered a lab in the base and had armoured guards on the doors, checking who goes in and goes out, not allowing anyone in at all unless they are certified to walk into the lab. There was a log from someone named Judith Tatien. She was allowed into the lab once, and said basically that the periodic table was just thrown out of the window. The laws of physics and gravity were just irrelevant at that point. Does that sound familiar to anyone? The project was to create grav drives, allowing humans to move from Earth and venture off into space. The grav drive project, however, was causing some serious problems in the Earth itself. The gravitational waves seemed to be affecting the magnetic shield provided by Earth's inner core and maybe impacting the Earth's core itself. The magnetic shield around Earth, it protects the people of Earth from the sun's solar wind solters. Below the devastating effects of solar radiation, this would lead to the stripping away of the atmosphere itself. But how did the scientists find such a thing? How did the people on Earth go from just putting a couple of satellites into space and landing on the moon to figuring out how to create a gravity drive to basically accelerate humanity's venture off into space? Well, the artifact. It was at the core of the first gravity drive. The artifact was the reason why Earth had to be evacuated, because it was destroying the atmosphere of Earth and it was causing some serious radiation poisoning for everyone on there, because the gravitational field and the atmosphere of the Earth was being stripped away. Situated in this very lab is the first grav drive, and of course is the artifact at the centre of it. Victor, one of the scientists, headed the retrieval of an odd gravitational anomaly on Mars, and he kept it hidden away. This gravitational anomaly was the artifact. This would explain the reasoning behind the armed guards on the door of the lab as well. He didn't want anyone from any other country knowing about this object. but obviously it was the end of the world, quite literally. However, as soon as we grabbed the artifact, the Starborn were here. We leave the facility, and there is the emissary and the hunter standing outside. We again make the decision to not choose sides. I don't trust either of them here. However, they know where the last piece is, the final artifact, and so do we. Both the emissary and the hunter have said they've given us more than enough chances to choose sides, but none of us have, so they're now going to work together to fight us. Great. So they take off in their ship, and well, we prepare ourselves for one final battle on a planet called Masada 3. The Starborn are swarming this facility, throwing everything they can at us to prevent us from getting to the final artifact. Even towards the end of the facility, seeing different rifts in time, us moving into different universes and realities, doing the same encounters again, this time making different choices. Even seeing the scenarios of us being dead and Vladimir holding us in his arms, when Samko lives just as he said. Finally though, the final temple, and the two Starborn standing right there. However, I'm not backing down here. I'm trying to reason with these Starborn. We actually end up persuading them both to hand over the artifact, so that we can reach unity ourselves. They both just leave, and we, well, grab the artifact and complete the set. And that's it. It's done. We now have what we set out for, all the artifacts, and to build the armillary. We take a moment to say goodbye to all of our friends, some wanting to even join us, some not wanting to join us. But we have to do this alone. We build the armillary, we power a grav drive, and into Unity we go. Wait, is that us?
You made it. I hope you're enjoying the view. I never get tired of staring at it. Eternity. A thought occurs. Can anyone ever truly experience reality outside of oneself? All of time and space filters through a singular perspective. I am as much you as you are a part of everything. All points connect to here. When a star is born or dies, its existence beats through the heart of this place. The unity. I have seen all you are, have been, and could be. Do you feel like you've lived a good life? Is there anything you regret? Do you feel dead? You are energy, and energy cannot be destroyed. That's good. You will need that clarity for what comes next. In order to become Starborn, you must give the universe one last thing. Yourself. That intangible part of you. That something that makes you unique amongst the infinite will explode like a supernova. A part of you will fuse with the essence of this universe, while another part leaves it behind forever. Do you understand what I mean? This one final leap will change this universe forever, even as you leave it behind. Unknowingly, you just answered your own questions. For who creates things but creators? That is what they have been named throughout the endless circle of time. Are they one or many? Human or alien? Terrestrial or celestial? One day, you might even meet the creators, but not this day. as for the why, so that you could ask that very question, so that you could stand before me for time immemorial and delve into the mysterious of the unending cosmos.
But it's time. We're ready. There's no backing out now.
Although you leave this universe behind, a new universe awaits you. Who will you be in this one? What choices will you make?
Let's enter Unity and become a Starborn. That's what we were set out to do, right? We're now a Starborn. We have the ship, the gear, but that's it. All of our belongings, currency, everything else is just left behind. Nothing else. We actually make our way back to the lodge to see the team again. However, of course, this was a different universe, so we had to explain who we were, what happened, and the shock on their faces, it was a picture. However, the story loops again, and again, and again. We're Starborn now. We can literally do this all over again, collecting the artifacts and going from universe to universe. Maybe another story explained video will be out later on my Starborn journey. If you guys want to see that, let me know down below in the comments. But guys, that's the storyline of Starfield. This has been a long ass video, but what a game, man. 20 hours in so far, and I'm absolutely loving every single minute of it. The story is so interesting because the new game plus is essentially you as a Starborn. You can just do it all over again, but with a twist along the way. I'm so excited to keep playing this game, and I'm going to put so many more hours into it and try and clock them up and just get as far into it as possible. If you've made it this far into the video, comment Starborn down below in the comments. Let me know your thoughts on the storyline of Starfield as well, and if we reach 1,000 likes, as I mentioned at the start of the video, I'll be giving away a couple of copies of the game. I'll be choosing that winner if you comment Starborn down below, and a couple of copies of the premium edition will be given away to you guys as well, so let me know down below. Subscribe for more content coming to the channel, story-based content for so many new games coming out, and also we do retrospectives on the channel as well, so if you're into that sort of stuff, definitely comment down below. But congratulations Bethesda and Xbox on a fantastic game and a really successful launch, and we'll see you all guys next time.